When a user is not able to do the work that he's supposed to do in the system, it's important to understand that it might be due to different factors and how to identify which one is causing the issue at the time. The first option that could be limiting a user from doing a specific work is the type of license that they have been assigned. As you know, SAP Business One has professional licenses, which have full visibility and full access to all modules and can then be limited by authorizations, and also SAP Business One limited licenses, which are either CRM, logistics, or financial. How do we know that the issue that is preventing the user from performing the operation that they need to perform on the system is related to a license issue? It shows as a red bar error message at the bottom of your screen. The error reads, "You cannot open window with your current license." If you are unsure of what license you need to assign to a specific user, you can always check SAP's license comparison chart. If you don't have one, please send us an email to support@consensusintl.com so we can send you one. And what you will see is the different modules listed here, and then what type of access comes with the type of license. So you have professional. As you see, professional has full visibility and access to all modules. And then you have limited CRM, limited logistics, or limited financials. They each have different type of access. Their access is limited, so it's not to all modules. And they do respond to roles, to typical roles within companies. So if you manage financials, you might only need a financial license. If at some point you need to change, you purchased a financial limited license, but you need a logistic limited license instead, we can always change one for the other. You need to send an email to support@consensusintl.com. You let us know the user, the type of license, the new type of limited license that you want to change that to, and the user that it needs to be assigned to, and we can do that for you. In some cases, you might need to upgrade a limited license to a professional because you realize that with the limitations that the financial, for instance, limited license has, this particular user is not going to be able to perform something that they need to, and that it's included in one of the other limited licenses. So we're always open to have that conversation with you, but this is a very good document to understand which limited license has access to what, and take that into account when working with this type of issue. The other scenario that we might find for a user being limited as to what they can do in the system is related to authorizations in the system. How do we know that we are in front of an authorization issue? This can show in two different types of pop-up windows. The first one, and the screenshot is really bad quality, I apologize for that. The first one here reads, "You are not permitted to perform this action," and it actually gives you the option to perform this action with somebody else's authorization. So if you have a user that has more authorizations than you and he's close by, you can click on this button here, and then the user that has more authorizations will be asked to log in in the system in your laptop, and they will be able to authorize as a one-time solution whatever it was that you were trying to achieve. As a permanent solution, you need to go to your system administrator and ask him to change your authorizations if you are asked to perform this action on a regular basis, and then your system administrator will be able to see if that is appropriate. The second pop-up message that you will find, and it can be a little confusing, is this one. It's a system message, and it reads, to generate this document, first define the numbering series in the administration module. It doesn't have anything to do with numbering series. It has all to do with authorization, so it's a little bit the same as the first pop-up window, but it's not so evident, so we like to include it here. What needs to happen in order to change this is, as I mentioned, you can talk to your system admin, and what they will need to do is they will need to go to the authorizations under administration and system initialization, authorizations, and they will need to look for the user. We're going to pretend that this time it was Tom Brady. He was trying to open a sales order and he couldn't. He received either one of those two messages. And so the system admin would come here, look for the user, then look for the document, the specific document, and they will realize, oh, there's no authorization here. So they change that no authorization to full authorization, and that should solve the issue for Tom with sales orders. There's still another scenario that I want to share with all of you regarding a user not being able to open or find a specific document within the system. If when you started your journey with SAP Business One, you were not meant to touch any sales document, you might have decided not to have the sales module visible. This little icon here that looks like a tool allows you to actually customize this menu for you. So let's imagine that I didn't used to work with sales at all. So in order to simplify my menu, I decided to hide the whole sales module for myself. And then a couple of years go by, and then my boss asks me to work with sales orders. And I come here and I say, I don't even have the sales module. It must be my license. It must be authorizations. When really it's not that. It's just that I need to click here and realize that I actually hid my sales module. So I just make it visible again, and you can go granular here. So I might work with sales, with the sales module, but I never work with blanket agreement. I never do quotations. I only do sales orders, for instance. I might decide to hide everything else in the sales module just to simplify my menu. And so when I open sales, I only have these options, and I don't have the quotations, I don't have the blanket agreement. But if I ever need it again, I can just make it visible again. I will come here, open the sales module, and decide which documents I need. So this is just a brief reminder, because we have seen this, users thinking that it was an issue of authorizations or licenses, when in fact it was only the form settings for their menu, and that was very easy to fix.